Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kathleen Darby and I'm an artist and graphic designer. Today I have the HoloLens here and I wanted to show it off to you guys because I've been playing with it for the last month because I'm a contract worker at Microsoft as a graphic designer. And today I wanted to cover four main topics about the HoloLens. Firstly, I wanted to discuss what even is the HoloLens and how that even fits on the mixed reality spectrum. Secondly, I wanted to go over some quick specs, and then third, I was going to demo a couple of the games that I've been doing, some of the things that I've been enjoying a lot, and also I wanted to share my final thoughts and what I think it means for the future of art and design as a designer. A little disclaimer about this video, it is in no way sponsored by Microsoft. So what is the HoloLens, and how does it fit onto the mixed reality spectrum? Well, the HoloLens is a head-mounted display device that is created by Microsoft, and it's an augmented reality device which fits into the broader mixed reality spectrum. Mixed reality means that it is a blending of the physical and the digital worlds, and you can read a little bit more about that in the Windows link that I gave down below. Now the spectrum of mixed reality goes from one end, the physical reality, where we spend most of our time, and then it goes to the digital reality. So at the two ends, Microsoft is more on the physical reality side of this mixed reality spectrum. And that's because you can still see through the glasses, but there is a screen that is projected onto your vision. So you're still rooted in your physical reality, except there's different things that are being augmented to that reality, hence the augmented reality device. So going on from the physical reality, we also have things like Pokemon Go, or Roboraid and Fragments and Skype, like I'll demo later with the HoloLens. But on the digital reality side, we have more immersive experiences, which are things like VR, 360 video, and the Acer Window device headset. A couple quick specs for you guys. It runs on Windows 10 and it has a 2 megapixel camera and HD video. It also has 64 gigabytes of storage and it runs for about 2 to 3 hours of playtime per use. And immersive sound, which basically means that if you are playing a game, it'll know exactly where the sound will come from, and it'll actually sound like in your physical environment, that's where that thing producing the sound is coming from. So you'll actually turn because you're hearing it as if it's a real object, which is pretty cool. The HoloLens goes for $3,000 for a development edition and $5,000 for a commercial suite. Not exactly a cheap investment. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my head so we can start doing some demos. I'm gonna show you really quick how I do this. Just going to loosen it up there, and this kind of tilts. Slide that on my head, and then you can see I'm just adjusting the back of it. And then this part comes out as well. And then it's really nice because if you have glasses, it actually is made to fit over your glasses. So no frets there if you're someone with glasses. Now I'm just going to turn it on, and there's a little button in the back. Okay, it's on. Let's do some demos. Awesome, let's get started by placing some holograms. Just gonna go to the main menu and click hologram. Right, here I've opened up the Hologram app, and let's just take a minute to look through these. Some of them have video on them, so I really like the mime. So now he just kind of appears in my world. I'm going to place him on the ground. I'm going to click. I'm going to point with my eyes, and say adjust, make him bigger. Should I make him life size? Well, I'm really small. Let's make him like that. That's pretty much life size for me. And then once that's done, you can click done, and then you can click on him. Oh, he's sad. Alright. Sad clown goes away. Let's go back to the holograms. Let's click something else. Here we go. Here's Seattle. Let's do a nice little Seattle view. Can also make that one bigger. Just a little bit though. Let's do something else. I'm gonna put a heart somewhere. Can also do some letters. And some jewels. This is also an animated one. You can see you can walk right around him. Continue. Hide fitbox.
Please wait a few seconds while we map your space. Look at the floor and use your gaze to position the blue disc where you want the holographic table to appear. Air tap or say,
Whoa, that's cool.
Welcome to Prism by Object Theory. This is a demonstration of our mixed reality collaboration service. This application allows you to have a shared experience to discuss three-dimensional objects and environments in true 3D. In this demo, imagine you're designing a house or planning a mountain hike. Each person in a session appears as an avatar, like the two robots you see now. Audio chat with spatial sound allows you to carry on a conversation anywhere in the world with a real sense of presence. Walk around the holographic table. You'll see a toolbar along the edge. This toolbar gives you access to the demo experiences and a few options, such as walking inside the house in true scale. At any time, you can say, "Show voice commands" for help. Now you're ready to explore Prism by Object Theory.
I just want to draw with this.
Air tap the session manager to join an available session or start your own. Once you're in a session, you can open the session manager to see session info, mute other participants, or leave the session.
I don't know what I'm doing. This is really, really cool. Is it in 3D too? Oh yeah. That's amazing. It's disappearing. I've done tilt brush before, but I really like using my hand like this a little bit more, like that. Anyways, okay, why don't we actually look at what they're trying to show us, and I'm going to stop being a nerd with the pen. Cellulose insulation. Look at that, you can just see into the house and see where the marker is. Oh, I love that. Alright, on to the last part of the video. I wanted to just give a couple thoughts and takeaways about the HoloLens and what I've thought about using it the last month. So the first thing is that I think it can really influence the future of art and technology, just because it, for one, is a technology device, and being a designer, I see all the different implications that it could be used for. So I have a lot of friends who are architects, product designers, other kind of 3D artists, animators, modelers, and 2D artists like myself, and I just find that all those fields could really greatly benefit from the use of the HoloLens. Architecture, for example, they use 3D models all the time to figure out how spaces work, interact, and the scalability of the HoloLens is just quite amazing, where you can scale down a little house to this small or make it just as large as it would be in your physical environment. And this way you can also collaborate with your team members. If they all have HoloLenses on, you can walk around the same spaces together, experience the same things together, and just make sure that it's just a more immersive experience, that you can just take all of those things into consideration when you're designing your prototype, your app, your 3D model in architecture designs. I just think that the future of that is just amazing. When I was at the visitor center at Microsoft, I got to do a couple different demos, and one of my favorite ones where I really saw the real life use for people like me and other designers was the motorcycle demo, where basically you are in Maya or a different kind of CAD program, and firstly it showed you, it's just the Maya screen, it's normal, and you're working on a motorcycle and rendering it, and then you can look to your left and there's like a little tiny hologram of that motorcycle, and you can kind of see it in 3D space, spin it around, all that different kind of stuff. And then behind us was actually a scale model of the motorcycle. It was actually augmented onto a frame of a motorcycle, and with the use of the HoloLens, I could actually go out and tap different parts of it and pull it up and down and change colors and make notes on different parts of it for collaboration. And I just thought that that's just such an amazing use case for that in the future. I also know that the demo teams at Microsoft have used the HoloLens at Art Basel this year, which has been really amazing. And so they were actually showing different works with the headset, and they were making installation work, gallery installations with the HoloLens that are just virtual galleries. So you could walk around, look at pieces that are renderings of it in full size, and some of these pieces that they were showing were 60 feet long. And I think that's just an amazing tool. I know that there was at Cornish in Seattle up here, they actually did an exhibition with a bunch of HoloLenses. I also think that the HoloLens is going to be really instrumental in the education department. So many things can be taught more immersively, and I know that I'm much more of a visual learner and more of a tactile learner as well. Maybe some of you guys are that are watching, and I just feeling like you're in a physical environment, but then having other information superimposed on your physical world will just really cement the things in your brain that you are learning, actual textbook material, if you will. There was actually a TED Talk that I watched that was talking about how in VR we remember our VR experiences as if they were real life experiences. There's no like coding in the brain that tells it that, oh wait, this ain't real. No, it still goes into your brain as if it were a real memory that you have had. And I think that the power of that is just so amazing and something not to take for granted as we're developing these technologies. A couple of negatives about the HoloLens. For one thing, it's a little bit of a bulky device as of now. It gets a little bit strenuous to sit on your head for more than like an hour at a time. The other thing is that it's also kind of physically strenuous with your hands because you have to hold out your hand at a certain point. You can't just like hold it by your side. There are clickers that come with it that could aid in that process. It is a physically taxing user experience on your body at some points, which I think helps with the overall being immersed in an environment, but it's kind of annoying right now that there's no like eye clicker, where you can just look at something and then it knows that you want to click on it yet. I mean, I'm sure that'll be coming in the future, maybe not a HoloLens, but I'm just really excited for, that sort of technology where we don't have to physically almost do anything and the technology will know what we're trying to go towards, what we're trying to type. That hurdle for me is still a thing that I think that the technology needs to get through. Another downside is that it's still a very new technology. It's not necessarily a downside, but I had a designer at HoloLens compare this to basically internet at 1995. It's the first stepping stone. It's not the destination. We're making these technologies. We're not at the end point of the best version of these technologies, and we never will be. But I think that is just this amazing leap that we've had where we can actually see things in this physical environment. Like right now, Roboraid is looking at me, and it's quite distracting, I must say. Anyways, so I just think that we have a long ways to go, but we're finally here thinking about these ideas, testing out these ideas, using them in the real world, as they become more available, cheaper, etc. I'm just so excited to, be working on these. A lot of people have been talking about the HoloLens and the lack of view, if you will. So I'm just going to make something real big and just kind of show you where the view in my eye ends. So in my view, this is about what I can see as of right now. And this is still the old version, so this is about 35 degrees of vision. In the newer model, they've actually realized a way to double that, which is really exciting. So the newer models are going to have 70 degrees of vision, of possible vision, because it's not always being taken up as a full screen. So I think that's really amazing as we continue to progress, that it'll just eventually be, your entire vision can be augmented, everything will be augmented. It's just one step further. I know a lot of people were complaining about how small it was, and when I first demoed the HoloLens, I was trying not to have any expectations, I guess, when I was going into my first demo, which was Destination Mars. But I have to say, not having known that much about the HoloLens during my first demo, and trying to push away all of those different stereotypes, and trying to push away all of those different expectations that I may have, I actually did find myself very, very slightly disappointed in how small the view was. So I get it. I get it that people are, not always super impressed, but the clarity of the holograms are amazing. They're almost opaque. Like I can hardly see the camera right now through the holograms that I have up. And they're just super crystal clear. The other thing, let's get rid of that. Get out of here. Go away. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the tracking of the different elements in your environment. HoloLens does one thing really, really, really well. It's that once you put an object somewhere, or it has scanned your environment, it is very well at keeping that object in one place. As you can walk around it in 360 degrees and look at it, it's not floating off the table. It's like sitting on the table if that's where you've put it. So I really hand it off to Microsoft that that's probably the most impressive part of the HoloLens that I have encountered so far. All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning into this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and learned a lot about technology, maybe thought a little bit about how this future holographic technology and others can influence art and design, and it's just so amazing. So thank you all for tuning in, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video. Make sure that you check out the links down below. My social media is @kdarbyart, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.